Welcome to The Explainer. I am so pumped to be here with you today. Go ahead and picture me with a whistle and a clipboard because I am putting on my virtual personal trainer hat right now. We're tackling something that, let's be real, almost every busy person struggles with. How do you get in a serious, heart-pumping sweat session without literally ever leaving your living room? Well, today's Explainer breaks down a highly effective routine from fitness creator MadFit. It's designed specifically to deliver maximum cardiovascular benefits right in your own home. Okay, let's dive right into this and completely transform your fitness efficiency.
It's the ultimate dilemma, right? You live in an apartment, you've got this tiny little patch of floor space between your couch and your coffee table, and the floors, yeah, they are paper thin. You desperately want a good cardio workout, but the absolute last thing you want is that dreaded broom thump on the ceiling from your downstairs neighbor because you're down there doing burpees at 6 a.m. For years, people have used that lack of space and the fear of making noise as the ultimate excuse to just skip their daily movement entirely. But today, we are completely removing those excuses from the equation, period.
So we need to make a massive shift in our mindset here. Traditional cardio is usually synonymous with jumping, loud impacts, and needing a ton of space. Think running, jump rope, intense plyometrics, all that stuff. But apartment cardio, it is a whole different ballgame. It relies on precise stepping, it is completely quiet, and it literally requires just 1 square meter of space. You do not need a massive home gym for this. You just need intention, focus, and the right biomechanics to get your heart rate soaring without your feet ever slamming into the ground.
So what is the magic number to make all this happen? It's 10. The routine we're analyzing today is an absolute masterclass in efficiency. You put exactly 10 minutes on the clock. You execute 10 different moves. And here's the absolute best part, there are 0 repeats. No way. Psychologically, this is massive. When you know you only have to do a specific exercise once, you are way more likely to give it your absolute all. It's in and out, fast and furious, but highly, highly controlled. Now, like any good personal trainer, I've got to lay down the ground rules before we get moving. The structure here is vital. Rule 1, absolutely no jumping. We are keeping it strictly low impact. Rule 2, 0 equipment. Your body weight is your only resistance. Rule 3, we use strict 15-second rest intervals between the moves. And Rule 4, honestly, this is the most important one. You must engage your core at all times. Since we aren't using gravity and impact to raise the heart rate, we've got to use deep, intentional muscle contraction.
Now, a really interesting concept here is active rest. You might hear 15-second rest and think, sweet, I get to just stand there and check my phone. Not a chance. To maximize this short 10-minute window, we use active rest. If an interval gets too tough, or just during those 15 seconds between the main exercises, you keep your body moving. You march in place, or you do some low-impact step checks. This sustains your elevated heart rate, so your cardiovascular system stays totally engaged for the entire 10 minutes.
We break this routine down into 3 distinct biomechanical phases. First up, phase 1, firing up the core.
Without high-impact jumping, deep core stabilization is exactly what's going to drive that massive energy expenditure. When your core is tight, every single movement you make with your arms and legs requires way more energy. It effectively replaces the need to jump. The routine kicks off with a high-paced marching exercise, but listen, it's not a lazy stroll. As the source material points out, you need to think about driving that knee up and in front of you. You're actively using your core to pull the leg up. Later in the routine, this exact same principle applies to the 3-count standing crunches. You're doing a 1-2-3 step, pulling the knee up and crunching the upper body down. It forces massive core engagement while you are standing perfectly straight.
Next up, we move to phase 2, lower body power moves.
Your legs actually house the largest muscle groups in your entire body, and activating them is what gives you that incredible cardiovascular spike. Strong, deliberate steps and a perfectly straight posture are your best friends here. A great example of this is the step and squat. You're stepping fluidly from side to side, and as you step, you can either just reach down and bring your fingertips to touch the mat, or you can drop your hips into a full-blown squat. This is where the beautiful adaptability of apartment cardio really shines. You're in total control of the intensity based on how deep you sink into that movement. As MadFit notes in the source routine, the squat's just going to make this a little bit more challenging. So the crucial point here is that you should always be looking to push your own limits. If you have the energy in the tank, add that optional squat. Maximize that lower body burn. Because you only have 10 minutes, getting low and exploding back up is exactly how you squeeze every single drop of benefit out of the time you've committed.
Another absolutely brilliant lower body power move from the routine involves a strict hinge. You keep a slight bend in your knees and a perfectly straight upper body as you hinge forward. Then you step 1 foot back, maintaining your level and simultaneously extend your arms straight backward to fire up the triceps.
It's a fantastic compound movement. You're stabilizing your lower half while actively working the back of your arms. Form is literally everything here to protect your lower back and maximize that muscle tension.
As we cross the halfway point, we enter phase 3, full body sweat finishers. Here, movements become much more complex, requiring explosive energy and complete head-to-toe coordination. This is where the sweat really starts to pour. Let's look at the science behind these multi-joint moves. Take the 1-2-3 step, for example. It's a full-body footwork drill. The form cue is to keep your arms nice and strong, getting low and rising high. By dramatically changing your vertical elevation, dropping low into a stance and then rising way up onto your toes, you create a massive cardio effect. Your heart is working overtime to pump blood against gravity as you continuously change levels.
And then we have the explosive scoops and punching marches. For the scoops, you are doing a dynamic, explosive rowing motion. You're coming up and sweeping the arms down using your core. For the punching marches, you're crossing and punching with really strong arms while driving those knees up. The cue here is absolutely crucial. Do not be lazy with your legs, and actively pull using your back muscles. You are basically creating your own resistance through dynamic tension. One of my absolute favorite visual cues from this entire routine happens during a really fun move where you're doing butt kicks while basically raising the roof with your arms. The instructor says, think almost like you have weights in your hands. You wouldn't just be chucking them off in the air. Man, that hits the nail on the head. This is the secret to zero equipment cardio. You have to use intentional muscle contraction. Visualize holding a heavy dumbbell. If you squeeze your muscles as if you're moving a heavy weight, your body responds exactly as if you are. It's a real game changer.
Suddenly, literally before you even realize it, the 10 minutes are up. The final phase of our explainer is the post-workout cooldown. This is a crucial physiological shift. You've kept your heart rate elevated, you've engaged your entire body, and now it's time for a rewarding, calming finish. You acknowledge the hard work you just put in and focus entirely on taking deep, restorative breaths to bring your central nervous system right back to baseline.
I absolutely love this final piece of encouragement from the routine. This is the time where you just pick a spot on the floor, zone out, tune into your breath. It really highlights that a good sweat session isn't just about physical health, right? It's about mental clarity. Those 10 minutes allow you to completely disconnect from your busy day, your work stress, or whatever else is on your mind, and just exist in your body for a moment.
So here is the bottom line, folks. You do not need an expensive gym membership, you don't need fancy equipment, and you certainly don't need to alienate your downstairs neighbors with some noisy jumping workout. You literally just need 1 square meter of space and 10 minutes of focused, intentional movement. We've laid out the science, the form, and the strategy right here, so I leave you with this final provocative question. You've got 10 minutes today, what are you waiting for? Drop the excuses, clear your floor space, and start moving. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.